Hookups are not necessarily the problem. And feeling empty and dissatisfied is not the problem. It's actually the symptom of something bigger. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to actually make your life better and feel better. And my goal is not to solve a bigger problem with hookups in gay culture, but rather help you to at least make one simple decision or at least test one simple approach that will help you to just live happier and better life as a gay man in demanding careers. So in this video, what we're going to talk about, hookup culture. I'm going to touch a little bit on the history, how we got here, because if we don't understand the history, we can blame sniffies, we can blame Grindr, we can blame apps, we can blame hookup spots for existing. But if we don't understand why and how, then we're not going to get very far. After that, we're going to talk about the actual psychological mechanisms. Why do we feel shitty after hookup? And no, I'm not going to contribute to this popular mental health circle jerk that, oh, you just need attention, you need validation, you need this sex addiction and things like that. I'm going to help you rather to map out your at least one decision, one step to live happier life, whether or not you're going to hook up. And for some of you, that would mean not to hook up. For some of you, it means hook up, but with certain conditions to better your experience. And for some of you, it will be like actually understanding like what other means, what hookup is actually doing in your life right now, and what are other means. And again, this video by no means is supplement or substitution for talking to a professional. This is simply for education, elevation, and like community education. So let's start with history. It started many centuries ago, because what happened when religion started developing and humans started developing, homosexuality from being a part of the society in certain countries, and kind of moved under prohibition, especially in the areas with Abrahamic religions. And when I say Abrahamic religions, I'm talking about Judaism, I'm talking about Islam, I'm talking about Christianity. Homosexuality, especially among gay men, become illegal. Gay men did not stop existing. We invented a way to meet our human needs. We invented a long time ago, before sniffies, before Grindr, before your favorite part where you go cruising, your cruising spots, your like, I don't know, book clubs, or like what's they called? They existed before. And after more or less liberation, when homosexuality is not illegal, when in some parts of the world you're not gonna be unalive for being gay, and you can, in some countries, you can marry another man, that historical part did not go away. That legacy remains, and it plays a very interesting part in our community, because aside from meeting somebody else, it provided also a lot of tools for men to kind of explore with their bodies and with their sexualities and with their desires. Now, we're talking about why gay men feel empty or disappointed after hookups, right? That's the topic, and how to feel better. More importantly, how to feel better. And whether like hookups, cruising spots, saunas or bathhouses or or whatever, like places that you normally go to, whether it is the answer, whether it is the tool for you or not. Now, I'm going to talk about the mind, not the brain, not the nervous system, the mind. The mind is the brain, and the brain is different. Brain is your biological organ. Mind is what your brain biological organ is like manifest in a way that you can think, you can understand, you can comprehend, you have your mental life. Your mind has different parts. In psychology, we call it multiplicity of mind. In IFS, it is the center philosophy that you have your core consciousness, it is self, and you have your multiple personalities. These are parts. And you have your wounded parts or exiles. You have your protectors, and protectors, they are their managers. They're trying to manage you in a way so you don't hurt yourself. And they're firefighters, actual term in IFS and Hurl family system. And the firefighters, these are parts that are like acting out. So whether it is like sex hookups or something else, or I don't know, eating cookies, and your protectors like conflicting with one another. And this is kind of leads me to like the whole hookup situation. I encourage everybody first, like the self-reflection. Again, this is the YouTube video. This is not going to solve the bigger psychological problem. The easiest answer for you, like, okay, I feel uncomfortable and I feel like maybe hookups is the problem, is actually talk to a professional, talk to a therapist, book a hypnotherapy session, or book a 15-minute consultation. That would be the most straightforward way to actually find solutions that answers for you. But here's a little map for you to actually make a decision. And self-reflection. It's like actually recognizing that there's a part of you that is craving this physical attention. And your parts, your internal personalities can normally talk back to you through your thoughts. So whether it is like a distraction for what? Like some gay men in very successful careers, very demanding careers. I mean, software development, business, medical doctors. It's like, oh, I just need to release the steam. I had a really difficult day. I just want to feel better. So, and it can make you feel better for a moment, but it's again, is this the tool for the job? Is this a right coping mechanism for the job? And maybe instead of hooking up, and there's nothing wrong with hooking up, there's nothing wrong with going to your favorite spot that you normally go, use your favorite app that you normally use and do the do's. Maybe there is a better way. Maybe there is a better way to actually meet your own need. Maybe it is call a friend. Maybe it is journaling. Maybe it is going out on a solo date and treating yourself. Because this is the short picture of what's happening in the brain. You meet somebody. Let's assume positive experience, which sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And the more you do it, the novelty goes away. And especially in the big city, the more people you meet, you kind of start like noticing people kind of like mediocre at that kind of thing. And maybe because you run out of experiences that you like, you run out of intensity. But what's happening? The physical touch, right? It activates your brain. It's dopamine. It's like the feeling good inside. It's this brain chemistry in a way that you started feeling good. When you're talking to a friend, if you're talking to a friend in like, let's say in a positive way, You're not reminiscing on what happened. You're not just complaining, because venting is one thing, but if it is repetitive, like vicious cycle of negative talk, what happened and how life is difficult, this is also not helpful. Well, let's say you have a very cool conversation. You vented, you exchange ideas, you talk to your friend is elevating you, your friend is understanding you, and it releases this dopamine, this endorphin in your brain, and it feels good. Now, like that can be one of the ways. Another way is to journal and actually put it on paper. Now, if you feel like, oh shit, it's so boring, hang out with my friend, what if I'm horny? Well, here's the thing, coping skills, these are skills, and any skill needs to be developed. And your skill for coping with your stress, it needs to be developed. And it takes effort, and it takes trial and error. And you don't want to, like, okay, I'm developing a skill. I'm not successful with this skill. I hook up. I feel shame, emptiness. And it's not about being back in the circle when you're not successful at a new skill, which, like, if it is a new skill, you're probably not going to be successful at it immediately. Coping skills are skills, and any skill needs to be developed, and it takes time, and it takes certain parts, right, to get comfortable with that new activity. It creates a certain state in your brain, right? Certain connections in your brain. Now, that's one part. Another aspect is, let's say you hook up because you feel lonely, right? It may not has like it may not be avoidance of the stressful situation, but maybe because you are feeling lonely. And I wish I had an easy answer for you, but it's actually looking back at you and seeing, like, what do I need? Do I want a relationship? Because again, coping skills or investing in a relationship, it is a difficult journey. And maybe you can, like, if you need a relationship and hookups is not doing it for you, maybe instead of going on just hookups, maybe you start organizing dates, and you are on absolutely like firm with your decision when you go on dates, and you don't hook up. Like, at least you are not using dating apps for anything casual. You're very explicit with what you want. You pursue your goal, and you go on a dating. And dating is the whole thing. I'm not saying it's easy. Like, actually, my husband and I, we are going to come to the channel and we're going to talk about how we met. I hope that will help. But this video is not designed to solve this problem for entire gay community. This video is designed simply to decide and simply to invest in one single step for your life. What is next? Maybe you have to be honest with yourself and say, hey, yes, it is dating, and it's actually taking my love life a little bit more seriously. Or maybe it is an addiction. And when I say addiction, maybe it is in a way that your brain is so used to this chemical circuitry that, like, okay, no matter what we're feeling, either we're hungry, anxious, lonely, had a difficult day at work, no matter what, if we go and if we hook up with somebody, we're just gonna feel better. And the danger in that is that First of all, it is an impulse, right? It is like, again, your impulsive parts are activated. And normally, like, this is why I'm going back to the system of the mind. And normally, this is something more on the surface, right? Normally, when your parts are acting out impulsively and reactively, normally there is something under the surface. Maybe there is a wounded or exiled part of you that is not on the surface. And again, like, I wish I could give you, like, in 20-minute video or 30-minute video, a perfect recipe where you can just, like, hey, yeah, like, just like tap bilaterally on your shoulders and you're gonna feel better. But human psychology is a little bit more complicated. So for that, and like the difficult, the trickiest part with when it becomes more addictive behavior, and you start kind of depending on it, because it's like if you live in a big city, it is access. You open Sniffy's, you open Grindr, and you can find somebody like on the same day. B, if you don't find anybody, you can masturbate. You can please yourself, which is another video for another day, but it's access. And number three, if we talk about like addictions, right? Chemical addictions, they normally all of them have really harsh consequences for the health. When it comes to this sex addiction or sexual addiction, it's a little bit more complicated than that. And like it normally has a little bit different pathways in your brain and activates your whole brain. And also, normally, you don't experience the consequences, the same consequences that you normally would experience after substances. Yeah. And that's why your brain perceives it as more safer way, as more socially acceptable way to actually like protect your wounded parts. And this is why your more reactive parts of your brain are more activated. So, like I said, you decide at the end of the video, like what you're going to do with that. So you can develop, like you can invest in coping mechanisms, journaling, community, actually meeting with the community. Lol. And again, like I hear the guys on Instagram and on TikTok and that like, oh, like nobody wants to mingle and there's a loneliness epidemic in gay community. And I hear that, but also it's about the effort. And I'm going to give you a little bit of harsh love. If you're not willing to put an effort in building your community, meeting your community, investing in searching people who are looking for the same thing, because I refuse to believe that there are no gay guys, no gay men, no community who would like to have a support. This is simply not the reality, not the truth. It can be a little bit harder, but it can be possible. And if there are no groups designed specifically for you, develop and design them yourself. Again, not an easy path. Community. Number two, like also like talking to a professional. And if you would like to speak to me, like I have 15-minute consultation, which is absolutely free. And I offer hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is not the same as psychotherapy, but in hypnotherapy and men's coaching, this is something that we approach that, right? Understanding the underlying condition, using hypnosis for developing or helping you to develop coping mechanisms. And like hypnosis is understanding your unconscious mind, unconscious actions, connecting with your mind system on a deeper level so you can unblend the parts that are like more reactive, more protective. So like that's another way. Understanding the tools, right? because a hookup is a tool for you. Historic or not, it is a tool for you. What are you doing with hookups? How it serves you? And what can you do like better if you want? Maybe it is a raising your bar for hookups, right? So if you're looking for certain experiences, raising your bar for hookups. But again, why are you doing this? Like, if you are in the relationship but you're hooking up, what is this function doing for you, right? And if you want me to make another video, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to make another video for you, okay, because it's a big topic. And it can become this addictive pattern, compulsive pattern that you're repeating again and again and again and again and again. And again, this is like my measurement for sex addiction or for porn addiction. If it starts impeding your life to the point that you can do your professional job, that you can study, you can enjoy life as you normally wouldn't, it is a problem. You need to talk to a professional because it can be that debilitating. If it is not debilitating, then again, it's coming back and realizing, okay, it is a tool that you adopted. Your brain, your mind system has adopted. What does it do for you? And again, if you're looking for gay affirming care from a professional, I do provide 15-minute consultations. I am a licensed hypnotherapist in the state of Washington. I can provide services for gay guys pretty much across the United States, in Washington or not, with the exception of Florida and Texas because of the legal reasons and licensing reasons. But all other states, I'm more than happy to help you, and I do my consultations and hypnosis online, uh, via Zoom, via Skype, or not Skype, Zoom. I'm more than happy to talk about that in a consultation to see if it is a right fit for you, or if it is not fit for you, we can decide which specialist will fit you specifically better, because it's not about one size fits all. It's about you feeling better, happy, and living the life of happiness, fulfillment, and freedom. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.